What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/EntitledParents.
This story's called Entitled Aunt Calls Me Selfish for Not Giving My Brand New 1,600-pound PC to My Cousin. A bit of backstory. I'm fairly young, 13, and have been saving up for years to get a gaming PC, and my parents insisted I build, and so I did. I'm not particularly talkative and don't really look for trouble all too much. I don't know if that's important, but eh. So my American relatives come over to stay for a few weeks, and one morning we're having breakfast and discussing why I use two computers. And I tell them that one is a laptop for schoolwork and Photoshop, and my PC is for gaming, video editing, or anything intensive. I paid no mind to this conversation, and after breakfast, because I hate socializing and talking to people, I boot up my PC and hop on to Destiny 2. A bit of a feminine hygiene product move when relatives are over and stuff, to be honest. This is where my older cousin brother, entitled kid, is watching me creepily over my shoulder and is mesmerized by my fancy keyboard and mouse lighting and says to me, "Well, dude, how much did that keyboard cost?" I answer, 150 pounds, to which he cringes and says, "Well, if the keyboard and mouse cost so much, the computer must be super cheap." No, not really. The PC itself is around 1,200 pounds. So you lied when you said it costed 1,600 pounds? Well, no, because I included the peripherals. At this point, he kinda looks confused and walks off, and I continue playing. A nightfall or two later, around half an hour, entitled kid comes back with entitled mother. Entitled aunt is entitled mother, and says to me, "Oh, Pay, did you really lie to entitled kid about your PC's price?" Not really, I just added the price of the keyboard, mouse, and monitor. "So if it's not as expensive as you said it was, can we get one? Where did you get it from?" "Sure, if you're willing to build it. There are a load of online tutorials and stuff on how to do it." "Build?" She was super angry because I told her that her entitled kid would actually need to work to get a decent PC. "Why would my entitled kid who is 11 build a computer? Could we just have yours, please?" I started laughing because it was a bit ridiculous that she wanted this PC that I'd saved up for years for and built myself. "I'm not kidding, you already have a laptop, so why do you need this?" "For video editing, gaming, etc. You even bloated the price. That has nothing to do with the situation. And you don't need those mind-melting video games, you selfish boy." Good point. Still doesn't warrant her taking my PC. And my son does so much more work than you. He deserves it. At this point, I, having been on this subreddit a bit, detect she's transforming into a stage 2 Karen, and prepare for her to try and yank out a cable or something, and I shut down the PC and hide the cables behind my desk and call for my dad. Bit of an abrupt ending, but entitled mother and entitled kid just glanced at me for the rest of the week and gave me death stares every so often. "Okay, lady, sure, your son deserves it. He worked so hard, and yeah, he 100% deserves a good gaming PC, so go buy him one." This story's called Entitled Mother Threatens to Try and Give My Xbox Away Because I Didn't Make Her Breakfast. Here's the cast. Entitled Mother! Dad. Me. So the other day, I had time off of school and work for the first time in weeks. I was tired because of having to study for tests and then immediately going to work until about 1 in the morning. I was thankful for my classes being canceled and one of my friends taking my spot at work that day, so I decided I'd sleep in and just relax. My entitled mother has other plans. Some backstory. My entitled mother always gets up at 6 a.m. for some ungodly reason and is always super loud when she's getting ready to go shopping. She also expects me to do everything for her when she is gone. Now, let's start the story, shall we? Entitled mother at 6 in the morning. "Me! Get up right now and make breakfast. I have to leave soon." "Make it yourself, please. I want to enjoy my day off." "I don't know who raised you to be so ungrateful. It's because of your father and I that you have everything you could ever want." "Actually, it's just, Dad, you don't give me anything for my birthday or any other holiday because you're too busy wasting it on yourself." She has recently bought a new car and then complained when she had no money to go out with her friends. "As a punishment for being so rude and ungrateful, I'm going to take your Xbox and give it to a child that actually deserves it." I got really mad at this point because I'm a huge nerd and I'm very protective over my console. especially because I'm the one who bought it and have put in about $700 extra into it. If you take my Xbox, I'm going to take your money and buy another one. Entitled mother proceeded to screech, and that's when my dad showed up and told her to leave me alone. 2 days later, my dad is filing for divorce. Lucky for him, he doesn't have to share anything because he made her sign a prenup. If anyone can explain to me what that is, that would be great. Also, thanks for listening. Okay, first of all, a prenup is a premarital agreement that kind of protects you in the case of divorce, so like, you don't end up like Brendan Fraser. God bless that man. Anyway, yes, I actually know exactly what this dude's talking about. I've had my dad threaten to take away my phone that I bought with my own money, and all that jazz. It's annoying. It's your own stuff. Parents need to respect that. This story's called, First My Tea, Then My Dog? Really? Alright, I be on mobile, so sorry about the formatting, you PC people. Long-time lurker, first-time poster. Okay. Cool. People suck, like I hate people sometimes. On with the story. So this happened just yesterday, October 24th, 2019. And this has got me urinated. My dog and I, Luna, went to this dog park near my house again, and usually there's people there. Except this time it looked like a desert. Cool, I thought. Luna can have as much space as she likes to herself. Now, Luna is quite shy as puppers go, so she nearly always stays by my side if there are other creatures around. But there was nobody around, so she took off and started running laps around the park. About 30 minutes later, a woman and her daughter arrive. The daughter looks to be about 5, maybe 6, and their dog looks seriously messed up. It was missing a leg, had fur torn off of it, and showed many signs of abuse. I was sipping my tea, which I had brought with me because it is getting colder here. Welcome to Colorado. And the little girl saw me and instantly ran over, whilst Luna cautiously trotted over to my side. Hi! What a pretty puppy you have! Can I pet him? It's a she, and sorry, no, but Luna doesn't like to be touched by other people without knowing them first. Well, can I have some of your hot chocolate then, since you won't let me pet your dog? Sorry, but no, it's not hot chocolate. It's a type of tea. Chai. This little girl makes this angry little noise and goes back to her mom. I think to myself, oh crap, this is how all of those stories go. Little child gets mad because we won't let them have something of ours, and out comes Mama Bear. I return to my phone, and about a minute later, I hear my dog growl and yelp as if she just got hurt. Instantly, I jump up from my seat and turn to see my dog, where the 6-year-old is pulling on my dog's ear, making my dog whimper in pain. That was a huge no-no, and I stormed over to this little crap and shoved her hard. My dog backs away from the spot and sits against the fence while I hear, "How dare you touch my perfect little angel? What do you think you're doing?" Oh crap, Mama Bear. "I'd like to speak to your manager!" Just kidding, she didn't actually say that. It would have been kind of funny though. This baseball pitcher comes storming over to me and shoves me, then bends down and is about to start screaming in my face. When? I did this in self-defense, okay? Shh, now. Yeah. I unscrew the lid of my steaming hot tea and splash some in her face. Tee-hee. She backed up, and just then, I perfectly saw a surprised Pikachu face with a Karen haircut on that bench. I love my imagination. It's so unhelpful at times. "You little trucker, how dare you, you little crap! Where are your parents?" "Oh, they're at home." "What? They shouldn't let a 9-year-old out here by himself?" Bench, I'm 14. Get the hell out of here, please." "Yeah, I'll make a deal. I won't call the police for you trying to assault me if you give me a dog. Yes?" Her face was livid as she said that. Bench? F no. I already see your poor dog over there, and there's no way in heck I am giving you my dog. You better step off now." I hear barking, and I turn, and the little 6-year-old girl has my dog on a leash and is trying to pull her away. I come storming over, Mama Bear hot on my heels, and shove the little crap again and unclipping the leash. It was Karen's leash, and I balled it up and threw it into the stream next to the park, where it sunk. You, how dare you! I gave her a grin, grabbed my own harness and leash, and hooked my dog up and left. Bird raced at her. On the way out, I snapped a picture of her license plate on her little Corolla and am going to call animal control. And I accidentally shook my hoodie out, which just so happened to have some rocks in it as I had picked some up as I had left the park. And they, accidentally hit her car and left some dents and some scratches. Frick you, Karen. Okay, that story was, surreal if I've ever seen a surreal story. Like, the way that played out, it's like, I don't know, I feel like the best example would be like JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, in that it starts off like completely normal and then it just goes like, what? It went crazy. I love the story, don't get me wrong. But like, what? This story's called Crazy Stepmom Locks My Dad and Me Outside. Before I go on, some of you may have seen my other post about my chinchilla Rocky. Sadly, he passed away in March. It's been a while, but I wanted to announce it when I posted back on here, which was inevitable because of my stepmom. I have a new chinchilla. Her name is Artemis. Pure white. She's just as sweet as him. So I live in an area where it gets really cold when it's night, like hits the low 30s. So my sister was planning to drive me to a nice ice cream place because she agreed to drive me there about a week ago. I'll explain what happened between her and my dad in a longish note, I guess. So my dad was telling his friends how annoying her kids were. My stepbrother, who's likely intellectually disabled, is in 6th grade. I'll make a brief list of what he cannot spell. Although he's in 6th, he's already 11 because he went into transitional kindergarten. Here's the list. Anything, anyone, because, love, like, mother, father, etc., etc. You can see why I hate him. My stepmom refuses to believe he has a learning disability and says he's just a bit behind. My stepsister is actually pretty cool, but my stepmom treats her like absolute crap. She blames her and me for everything that my stepbrother accuses us of. My stepbrother had almost drowned my stepsister and me. My stepsister was sinking to the bottom of our pool. He called my name and pointed to her as she sank below. In a panic, fight or flight, I swam towards her as fast as I could. When I got there, my stepbrother jumped on my back from the edge. I could hardly breathe, but I grabbed my stepsister's arm as she thrashed, almost pulling me down as well. She suddenly came to a stop. I surfaced and propped my stepsister up on the side of the pool. I coughed up about a good 2 pounds of water if I recall. My stepsister was unresponsive, so I pulled her back out of the water and onto the side. Knowing what little I knew of CPR, I pressed forcefully on her chest. The first 2 pumps had her cough up water. I didn't understand how it worked, but I didn't question it. We told my dad, and my dad told my stepmom, and want to know what she said? Oh, he didn't mean it, he was just playing rough. So whenever I punch him playfully, apparently I'm the bad guy? Yeah, I hate my stepmom and my stepbrother. Anyways, back to the story. So my sister drives out to my dad's house to come pick me up. My brother's in the car and my dad decides to come with us as well. So everything goes good. I get my vanilla ice cream cone and we start driving back so I can chill in bed while having my ice cream. My dad's phone lights up and he checks it. My brother asks what it said. He read out loud, "OP's and your stuff is outside. Find a place to put it." I get reasonably upset. I then, in an outrage, ask, "Why was she in my room? Why did she touch my stuff?" My sister drops us off, asking if they needed to stay. My dad said no, it's fine. So we come out and see our stuff right there. I'm still in shorts and a short sleeve shirt. Mind you, it's about 11 p.m., so it's in the low 30s. My stepmom did not spare us a single jacket or blanket. My dad tried to open the back door, locked. The front door, locked. The windows, locked. I began to shake. Not due to the cold, but a panic attack started to set in. I asked my dad if I could drive us to my mom's. My stomach was churning. I couldn't finish one last bit of my ice cream cone. So I'm holding a runny cone as I try not to cry my eyes out. My dad finally agrees to drive me home. I grab my backpack and hop in the front seat. Now, she apparently called her ex-husband and told him what my dad has done. So he called my dad and started to go off on him. I wanted to scream back and tell him that his kids freaking sucked. He hangs up. After trying not to cry, a few tears silently slip down my face. My dad apologizes, saying it's his fault. In response, I yell out, "It's not your fault, it's stepmom's fault. She can't control her freaking kids." We don't speak for the rest of the car ride. I finally get back home around 12 a.m. I throw my backpack on the floor and start sobbing as soon as I get through the door. My dog Dexter runs up to me and tries to comfort me as my mom and the rest of my siblings give me a hug. I haven't gone back to my dad's house since. My mom says she has more than a few hurtful words for my stepmom, yet we haven't executed it. Alright, forgive me for being potentially stupid here, but is anyone else as lost as I am as to what happened? They went for ice cream and then they were locked out. I'd really like to know what happened that made them get locked out. They didn't describe that part. And I feel like that's an important part of the story. This story's called Entitled Mother Demands That I Give Her My PS4 Just Because She Told Me My Headlights Were On. This just happened and I've already reported to the housing complex security. I just came back from the mall and was just playing my PS4. I then got a knock on the door and it was Entitled Mother and her child. Here's the cast. Entitled Mother? Entitled Kid? Me and Uncle. Hi, I noticed that your headlights were still on and we took our time to tell you this. Oh, I didn't notice. Thank you, Entitled Mother. I turned off the headlights and walked back to my house. I thanked her and before the door closed, Entitled Mother put her foot in between. I reopened the door. Is there something else? Aren't you going to give me anything? Give you what? Well, duh. Me and my son just took our time to tell you your headlights are on. You should give us a gift. Okay. I gave her like 20,000 rupiah. She took it and looked as if I gave her rotten food. This isn't enough. What else would you need? I don't know. Entitled Kid, what do you want? Entitled Kid gestures to my PS4 and starts begging me to give it. We will take that. I'm sorry, Miss Entitled Mother, but you're asking for a gift that's worth way more than that. And all you did was tell me my headlights were on. Keep the 20,000, but I am not giving you my PS4. Good night. I was closing the door and Entitled Mother slammed it open. I will not leave until you give me your PlayStation thingy. Again, Miss Entitled Mother, that's not going to happen. I bought this with my own money, as well as that car and all my electronics. Please leave or I'll call complex security. Give it to me now, I need it! No! My uncle walked downstairs to see the commotion. What's going on here? She wants the PS4 as compensation for telling me my headlights were on. Yeah, that's not gonna happen. But I demand you give it to me! That PS4 was bought by me and only me, so you have to ask me. Can I? Slam! And my uncle slammed the door on her face. Entitled Mother continued to knock on my window and then my doorbell, and we just ignored it, and she left. I later reported her to complex security and they will look into it. You see, Entitled Mother went about that all wrong, okay? This is what you do. You go like, hey, I know something that you would like to know. It's really important, and if I don't tell you, your life will be ruined temporarily. And then they'll be like, what? Tell me, I'll give you my PS4 if you tell me. And then that's how you get it. That's how you get a PS4 for telling someone their headlights are on. Okay, on a real note, that's insanely stupid. That's like going to a random house, mowing their lawn without telling them, and then asking them to pay them for labor you didn't even get permission to do. In this specific example I just gave, they could technically probably get you in trouble for vandalism, maybe? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.